Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. First, the Giving the Time PDF Conversation Cheat Sheet. This brand new cheat sheet will teach you how to ask for and give the time fluently. Download it for free right now. Second, can you talk about negative emotions in your target language? If not, then you'll want this lesson. You'll pick up over 20 words for negative emotions in just a few minutes. Third, the top 20 words for positive emotions. This next 1-minute lesson teaches you the 20 positive emotions, like happy, excited, and more. And you can learn them all fast with the slideshow study inside. Fourth, the core 2,000 words PDF ebook. Actually, this PDF ebook is usually not free and is sold at our store. But you can get free access for the next few days and get fluent with the 2,000 must-know words inside. So don't miss out, because this book will go back into our vault. Fifth, Encouraging Phrases PDF Writing Workbook. This workbook teaches you the must-know encouraging phrases, such as believe in yourself and don't give up. And you'll get to practice writing out the phrases as well. And sixth, free language learning audiobooks. If you visit the link in the description, we'll send our library of language learning audiobooks. Save them to your device and listen and learn. They're yours to keep forever. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Hi everybody, welcome back to Ask Alicia, the weekly series where you ask me questions and I answer them. Maybe. Let's get to your first question this week. First question this week comes from Patricia Barbosa. Hi Patricia. Patricia says, good morning, I am reading a book and it has lots of contractions like I'd. Is this I had or I would? Which one is the correct one? Best regards, Patricia. Oh, that's a great question, Patricia. So this question is about how to know when I'd, the contraction I''D, is I had, and when it's I would, because the contraction is the same, right? I'd and I'd can be used for the same thing. So the way to know is to look at the word that comes after the contraction. So remember when you use, for example, an I would sentence pattern, like I would like to, or I would go to that if I were you. When we follow I would patterns, we use a verb in that base infinitive form, right? I would like to, I would go, or I would eat that if I were you. So when we use those I would patterns, the verb that follows is in the base, the infinitive form, so like the dictionary form. In contrast, when you use I'd for the contracted form of I had, the verb that follows is different from the I would contracted form. So when you use I had in the contracted form, I'd, you follow that with a verb in past participle tense. For example, I'd eaten too much means I had eaten too much. Or I'd slept late. I had slept late. So the verb that follows the I'd there is in the past participle form. This is how you know whether I'd means I had or I would. So again, to recap, you need to look at the word that comes after the contraction to know which one is which. And this might seem a little bit confusing at first, but over time you'll get used to noticing the verb pattern and the contraction pattern, and you won't have to think about it anymore. So the best way to practice with this is just to read. So to recap, when you see I would used as a contraction, I'd, you'll know that it means I would because the following verb is in the base form, or the infinitive form, the dictionary form. When the contraction means I had, it's followed by a verb in the past participle form. So this is how you know which is which in your reading. So I hope this helps you. Thanks for an interesting question. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Ayman. Hi, Ayman. Ayman says, what is the difference between in the other hand and on the other hand? Okay, good question. So in the other hand and on the other hand. Let's talk about the simpler one first. In the other hand really just means that something, some object is inside someone's hand. So for example, if I'm holding my phone, I could say, my phone is in my hand, right? If I say something like, oh, but there's nothing in my other hand, or there's nothing in the other hand, it means that there is nothing contained inside excited, or I am not holding anything. So when you use in, the preposition in, it means physically you're holding something or you're putting something inside your fist perhaps, so you're containing another object inside your hand. So when you use in the other hand, this is what it means. Like, I have a phone in this hand and in my other hand is nothing in my example situation. So when you use this preposition, it means physically inside your hand. Now, let's talk about on the other hand. So on the other hand is a very common figure of speech. So it doesn't actually mean on the surface of something in most cases. Perhaps there are some cases where maybe there's a bug or something like that physically on your hand, and you might say, oh, there's a bug on your other hand. Maybe in very, very few situations you might need to use that. However, in most uses of this expression, on the other hand is like a way of saying, in this other situation, or by the way, in this other kind of similar situation. So we want to talk about a related topic. So for example, I use on the other hand a lot in this series to show when I want to explain the other side of a topic. For example, if someone says, what's the difference between A and B? I might say, A is about this and this and this. On the other hand, B is about this and this and this. So we use on the other hand when we want to talk about two sides of a situation, or we want to compare opposites of a situation. We tend to use this when we're kind of contrasting ideas, or we're introducing maybe different sides of the same topic. So when you want to talk about another part or another side of the same topic, you can use on the other hand to do that. So I hope this helps answer your question. In the other hand means physically contained inside your hand, something that you're holding, and on the other hand refers to the opposite side or another side of a topic of conversation. So thanks very much for this question. I hope that helps you. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Next question comes from Khaled. Hi, Khaled. Khaled says, I give up on learning English. I want some advice to keep up. I feel like I'm not good enough when I take a demo IELTS exam or read a newspaper and I find new words I've not seen before. For sure. It's hard to keep your motivation up when you find new things all the time and you feel like you're not making progress or there's still so much new stuff to do. Absolutely. I completely understand that that's really, really hard. So how do you keep your motivation up? First, of course, don't quit. So accept that you feel like demotivated sometimes. It happens to all of us. It's totally, totally normal. So then what do you do? So if you feel like maybe taking these practice exams or trying to read newspapers is too challenging for you, in your case maybe because there's a lot of vocabulary words that you don't know, try taking it down a level. So for example, if reading a newspaper, like a native English speaker made newspaper, is too challenging, try to take it down a level. So for example, you can find news articles that are made for English learners. So those kinds of news articles will have key vocabulary words explained. They'll be written in a way that makes it easier for learners to understand the information without so much difficulty or without so much challenge. So if you're feeling demotivated because the things that you're using for your studies are just too hard, that's fine. Like, you can recognize this is too challenging for me right now and just take it down a step. So if you take it down a step and work on some goals here, like at the level below where you are now, maybe working on vocabulary, building on some grammar skills, looking at how sentences go together, you'll build your confidence up and you'll be ready to move up to another level in the future. So just because you can't do this one thing right now today, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be possible in the future. So if you feel demotivated, just take it down a bit. That's okay. It's okay if you realize, oh, this is too much for me. So maybe something that you can do to get your motivation back is just to take a step back or take your studies down a little bit. Don't push yourself so hard and set some small goals that are easy for you to achieve. In your case, you mentioned working on vocabulary, running into lots of words that you don't know. So maybe that shows you that that's the next place for you to focus on. Maybe your next study goal for the month can be to learn 300 new vocabulary words and focus on that, and then try to read that same newspaper article again. You might be surprised with the progress. So in sum, if you're feeling demotivated, that's okay. Just accept that you're going to feel this way sometimes, and it's totally normal. It happens to everybody. In these moments, just give yourself a little bit of time to regain your confidence. For example, try picking a smaller goal that you know you can achieve easily in in a week or in a month. For example, choosing a certain number of vocabulary words to study or choosing a couple of different grammar lessons to review. Just try to build your self-confidence up so that you'll be ready to work towards that bigger goal in the future. So thanks very much for this question, and I hope that you got your motivation back a little bit. Okay, that is everything for this week. Thank you, as always, for sending your great questions. Thanks very much for watching this week's episode of Ask Alicia, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. Welcome to the 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice, and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is saxophone. 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 A saxophone is a musical instrument. It's usually made of brass and is played with two hands. It has a part at the top that is a little straight, it goes in your mouth, a long body that ends in a bell shape, and it's often used in jazz music. Here's an example. Play the saxophone. Play the saxophone. Play the saxophone. Drums. 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 The drum, or drums in the plural form, is another musical instrument. We play the drums by using two sticks and hitting different things to create different sounds. All of these different things we hit, used together, are called drums. In an example, play the drums. Play the drums. Play the drums. Harmonica. 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 The harmonica is another musical instrument. This is a small musical instrument, about this big. We play it by holding it up to our mouth and blowing air through holes in the harmonica. You might hear the harmonica used in music from the US. It has the feeling of a night out camping. Here's an example. Play the harmonica. Play the harmonica. Play the harmonica. Room service. Room service. Room service. Room service is something you can receive in a hotel. If you want to order something to eat, something to drink, you can usually pick up the phone in your hotel room and request room service, which means you want someone to bring food or drinks to your room. Here's an example. Room service meal. Room service meal. Room service meal. Receipt. 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 Receipt has a very interesting spelling. There is a P in the spelling of this word, but we do not pronounce it. The pronunciation is receipt. A receipt is a small piece of paper, a physical receipt, or sometimes a digital receipt that gives you information about something you bought. So after you go to a store and you buy something, usually you receive a receipt, a record of your purchase. Here's an example. Hotel receipt. Hotel receipt. Hotel receipt. Wi-Fi. 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 Wi-Fi is a very common word these days. Wi-Fi means wireless internet connection. Many people have Wi-Fi in their homes, and there are lots of places out in cities and communities where you can access free Wi-Fi as well. Here's an example. Wi-Fi router. Wi-Fi router. Wi-Fi router. Garbage can. Garbage can. Garbage can. A garbage can is a place you put your trash or your garbage after you are finished using something, and it's the thing that you use to remove the garbage from your home, usually once or twice a week. Many people have a garbage can in the kitchen or in the bathroom. Here's an example sentence. Put the garbage can out by the curb every Tuesday to be emptied. Put the garbage can out by the curb every Tuesday to be emptied. Put the garbage can out by the curb every Tuesday to be emptied. Envelope. 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 An envelope is something we use to send a letter or to mail a letter or other important document. When we finish writing our document or writing our letter, we put it inside an envelope, a case for the letter, and send it. Here's an example phrase. Red envelope. Red envelope. Red envelope. Paper. 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 Paper is, of course, something we use for many different things. We usually use paper in school and at work for writing notes, for doing our homework, for sharing little pieces of information on small-sized paper, and so on. So paper is a very, very common material. Here's an example phrase. Piece of paper. Piece of paper. Piece of paper. Engage. 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 Engage is part of the expression to get engaged. To get engaged refers to the step before getting married to someone. So to get engaged with someone means to ask someone to marry you and for the other person to say yes. So we don't say, I engaged someone, but we say, I got engaged, or they are engaged. Here's another example situation. Are you engaged? Congratulations. Are you engaged? Congratulations. Are you engaged? Congratulations. Let's review. I'm going to describe a word or phrase in English. See if you can remember it. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say the instrument that's used in jazz a lot that has a long brass body ending in a bell shape? Saxophone. Saxophone. And how to say the instrument that we play by hitting sticks on other objects. Drums. Drums. Okay, what about the small instrument you play by holding to your face and blowing through the holes? Harmonica. Harmonica. Do you remember how to say the thing that you can order from a hotel when you want to eat something or drink something in your hotel room? Room service. Room service. Let's try the word for something you receive on a piece of paper after you buy something. Receipt. Receipt. Okay, what about the word that means wireless internet connection? Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Now, let's see if you remember the word that means the place you put your trash after you're finished with it and when it's time to remove it from your house. Garbage can. Garbage can. Another one. What about the word for the thing you put your letter or important document inside when it's time to send it? Envelope. Envelope. Do you remember how to say the name of the material you use for writing notes, doing homework, and so on? Paper. Paper. And finally, do you remember how to express when someone is about to get married, when someone has accepted a marriage offer? Engage. Engage. Well done. See you next time. Bye. Hi, everybody. My name is Alicia. Welcome to the 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice, and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is keyboard. 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 A keyboard is a musical instrument. It looks like a piano, but a keyboard is digital. You play it by pressing your fingers on the black and white keys. Here's an example. Play the keyboard. Play the keyboard. Play the keyboard. Rash. 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 A rash is a medical condition. A rash is usually a part of the skin that turns red in color and often is very painful or maybe it feels itchy. Here's an example. Itchy rash. Itchy rash. Itchy rash. Nausea. 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 Nausea is a very interesting word with an interesting spelling. Nausea is the pronunciation. Nausea refers to a medical condition, a feeling in your body. When you feel nausea, you feel your stomach is not happy and like the inside of your stomach might come out of your body. Here's an example. Nausea and vomiting. Nausea and vomiting. Nausea and vomiting. Vacancy. 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 Okay, vacancy is a noun. This word vacancy means an open spot somewhere, some kind of available place. We see vacancy used a lot in hotels, which means there is an open room. Here's another example. This parking lot has no vacancy. This parking lot has no vacancy. This parking lot has no vacancy. Ping pong. Ping pong. Ping pong. Ping pong is a very popular game. It's played with a paddle and a small ball, and there's a table with a net across the top. You play the game by hitting the ball across the net at your opponent. Here's an example. Play ping pong. Play ping pong. Play ping pong. Running. 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 Running is a very popular sport. Running refers to simply going outside or in the gym and going for a jog, or sometimes going quickly, which is referred to as sprinting. So running can be done almost anywhere. Here's an example sentence. The woman is running on the beach. The woman is running on the beach. The woman is running on the beach. DVD. 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 A DVD is a now kind of old way to watch a movie. A DVD is a movie on a CD disc, so you can play a DVD with a DVD movie player or by putting the DVD disc inside your computer. Here's an example sentence. I love to watch this DVD with my friends. I love to watch this DVD with my friends. I love to watch this DVD with my friends. Staple. 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 Staple is used as both a noun and a verb. As a verb, to staple means to use a stapler, an object, a machine you have in your office or your home, to connect two or more pieces of paper. The two pieces of paper are connected with the noun form of this word, a staple. A staple is a small piece of metal that goes through the papers and is connected on the other side. Here's an example that uses the noun form. Box of staples. Box of staples. Box of staples. Stapler. 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 As I just described, a stapler is a machine you use to connect two or more pieces of paper. These are very, very common in offices and other schools and workplaces and situations in which people need to connect documents all the time. Here's an example. Return my stapler. Return my stapler. Return my stapler. Marry. 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 Okay, this verb means to join together for life, as in a partnership for life. So when two people decide they want to have a partnership for life, they decide to get married, and the verb form of this is marry. For example, I want to marry you. I want to marry you. I want to marry you. Let's review. I'm going to describe a word or phrase in English. See if you can remember it. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say the musical instrument that's digital that you play by pushing black and white keys? Keyboard. Keyboard. And how to say the medical condition that makes your skin turn a red color and that may be itchy? Rash. Rash. What about the medical condition where your stomach feels upset, like the inside of your stomach might come out of your body? Nausea. Nausea. Do you remember how to say the word that means an open place or an open spot, especially at hotels? Vacancy. Vacancy. Let's try the sport you play with paddles and a table that has a net on the top. Ping pong. Ping pong. What about the sport you play by going for a jog somewhere? Running. Running. Now, let's see if you remember how to say the movie that you can watch by putting a disc inside a player or inside your computer. DVD. DVD. Another one. What about the noun that means a piece of metal you can use to connect two documents together? Staple. Staple. Do you remember how to say the machine that you use to connect two documents together? Stapler. Stapler. And finally, do you remember how to say the verb that you use when you want someone to be your partner for life? Marry. Marry. Well done. See you next time. Bye. Hi, everybody. My name is Alicia. Welcome to the 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice, and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is fatigue. 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 Fatigue is a feeling of tiredness in your body. It's not just tired for a moment, like after exercising, but fatigue is a feeling of tiredness for an entire day or a few days. Here's an example. Muscle fatigue. Muscle fatigue. Muscle fatigue. Itchy. 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 Itchy is an adjective. Something that is itchy is something that makes you feel you want to itch or you want to scratch that spot. Here's an example. My nose is itchy. My nose is itchy. My nose is itchy. Sore throat. Sore throat. Sore throat. A sore throat is a medical condition. This part of your body is in pain. We use sore throat a lot when we have a cold. Here's an example. I have a sore throat. I have a sore throat. I have a sore throat. Baseball. 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 Baseball is a very popular sport in the United States. In baseball, there are 4 bases in a diamond shape. Players hit a ball and run around to the different bases to score points. Here's an example. Baseball game. Baseball game. Baseball game. Ice hockey. Ice hockey. Ice hockey. Ice hockey is a popular winter sport. Ice hockey is a hockey game played on top of ice. So the players wear ice skates and they use sticks to hit an object called a puck into a goal. Here's an example. Play ice hockey. Play ice hockey. Play ice hockey. Skiing. 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 Skiing is a very popular winter sport. Skiing refers to going down a mountain in the snow with two skis. That's the noun form, a ski. You wear two skis, one on each foot, and go down the mountain. This sport is called skiing. Here's an example. My hobby is skiing. My hobby is skiing. My hobby is skiing. Paperclip. 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 A paperclip is a very common office product. We use a paperclip to put two or more pieces of paper together, but it's just temporary. We can use a paperclip, a small piece of metal bent into a curled shape, to connect a few documents just for a short time. Here's an example. Box of paperclips. Box of paperclips. Box of paper clips. CD. 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 A CD is something that we used to use a lot to listen to music. CD means compact disc. A CD had an album of music from an artist, and you can listen to this even today by using a CD player or putting the CD in your computer. Here's an example. I ordered a new CD. I ordered a new CD. I ordered a new CD. Buy. 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 So the verb buy means to give someone money in exchange for something else, to receive something else in return. You can use your money to buy something as a physical object, to buy a service, and so on. Here's an example. Buy food. Buy food. Buy food. Madrid. 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 Madrid is a very big city in Spain. It's a very popular tourist location. Here's an example. Madrid, Spain. Madrid, Spain. Madrid, Spain. Let's review. I'm going to describe a word or phrase in English. See if you can remember it. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Do you remember how to say the feeling when your body is tired all day? Fatigue. Fatigue. And how to express the feeling when you want to scratch a spot on your body. Itchy. Itchy. What about the feeling when this part of your body is painful? Sore throat. Sore throat. Do you remember how to say the popular sport in the US that's played with 4 bases in a diamond shape? Baseball. Baseball. Let's try the sport played on ice, and players use sticks to move a puck into a goal. Ice hockey. Ice hockey. What about the popular winter sport played by putting 2 skis on your feet? Skiing. skiing. Now, let's see if you remember how to say the common office product that is a piece of metal curved into a curly shape used to put documents together for a short time. Paperclip. Paperclip. Another one. What about the disc you use to listen to music? CD. CD. Do you remember how to say the verb you use when you exchange money for something in return? Buy. Buy. And finally, do you remember how to say the name of a very big city in Spain? Madrid. Madrid. Well done. See you next time. Bye.
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Dude, the grocery store is closed.
Isn't there another one nearby?
I don't know. I've never been here before.
Check your GPS again. Are you sure you put in the data correctly?
Yes, I am. The screen is marking this part of Baltimore as the endpoint.
All I wanted was some bananas. Is that too much to ask?
Now you will hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Check. To examine, to review, to look at, to look again at something. Check.
GPS.
Abbreviation for Global Positioning System.
GPS.
Bananas. Bananas.
Ask. To request an answer to a question. Ask. Grocery.
Items of food sold in a grocery store.
Grocery. Nearby. Near, in the immediate area. Nearby. Correctly.
In a way that is true, factual, or appropriate.
Correctly. Screen.
A fixed or movable, upright partition used to divide a room.
Screen. Part.
A piece or segment of something.
Part. Data.
Facts and statistics collected together for reference.
Data.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Dude, the grocery store is closed.
Isn't there another one nearby?
I don't know. I've never been here before.
Check your GPS again. Are you sure you put in the data correctly?
Yes, I am. The screen is marking this part of Baltimore as the endpoint.
All I wanted was some bananas. Is that too much to ask?
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Excuse me, I'm not from San Jose. Could you tell me how to get to Alexander's, please?
Alexander's? You mean the little steakhouse on the corner?
I'll bet that's it. I'm a flight attendant and my crew is supposed to meet me there in a few hours.
Well, it's 3 streets that way, then turn left. There's a big sign that says Alexander's.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Steakhouse.
A restaurant that specializes in serving steaks.
Steakhouse. Attendant.
A person employed to provide a service.
Attendant. Streets.
Public roads in a city or town.
Streets. Corner.
An angle where 2 or more sides meet.
Corner.
Flight.
Act of flying.
Flight.
Crew.
A group of people who work on and operate some kind of ship.
Crew.
Turn. To move in a particular direction. Turn.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Excuse me, I'm not from San Jose. Could you tell me how to get to Alexander's, please?
Alexander's? You mean the little steakhouse on the corner?
I'll bet that's it. I'm a flight attendant and my crew is supposed to meet me there in a few hours.
Well, it's 3 streets that way, then turn left. There's a big sign that says Alexander's.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Welcome to your 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series quiz. Each week, we'll release a video teaching you new vocabulary. The following week, you'll be given a quiz so you can test your progress. Click the link in the description. Let's learn and review the words for your test. But if you're ready, it's quiz time. Ru- Why? Go- And pay- and great job on completing the quiz. If you didn't get 100%, don't worry. Just check out the previous video again to review the expressions we covered. But before you go, we have a free gift that you don't want to miss. Use it to expand your vocabulary. Click the link in the description below to download our English ebook with the core 2,000 words for daily life situations. Welcome to your 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series quiz. Each week, we'll release a video teaching you new vocabulary. The following week, you'll be given a quiz so you can test your progress. Click the link in the description. Let's learn and review the words for your test. But if you're ready, it's quiz time. Keyboard. Rash. Nausea. Vacancy. Ping pong. Running. DVD. Staple. Stapler. Mary. Great job on completing the quiz. If you didn't get 100%, don't worry. Just check out the previous video again to review the expressions we covered. But before you go, we have a free gift that you don't want to miss. Use it to expand your vocabulary. Click the link in the description below to download our English ebook with the core 2,000 words for daily life situations. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about some deeper adjectives that you can use to express nice. So I'm focusing in on one adjective for this lesson. In this case, the adjective I want to talk about is nice. And then I'm going to explain some different ways we can understand nice and give you some other vocabulary words to use. So the goal of this lesson is to help you choose some vocabulary words that are more specific to your situation, to the thing that you're talking about or writing about. So let's get started. Okay, I want to start on this part of this adjective wheel. If it's your first time seeing this, the adjective wheel is a tool that I like to use to show the relationships between different words. So at the middle of this wheel is the focus adjective, in this case, nice. In this middle level here, I have the different ways that nice can be used. So these are kind of like categories for the word nice. These are different meanings or different senses the word can take. These are also adjectives that you can use. At the outermost, at the outside part of the wheel, is some more adjectives. There are some more adjectives that are very specific to this category here. So let's begin with this part, with this use of nice. So we can use nice to mean friendly when we want to describe people that we like, and we want to describe people who we think are friendly or that we like their personality. We can use friendly to do that. More specifically then, inside friendly, we can use a couple more words. Actually, there are many words that mean friendly or some variation of it, but these are maybe useful ones that are kind of the next level. So the first one is sociable. Sociable. Someone who is sociable is someone who likes to be social. So here maybe you can see sociable is like social and able in the same word. So like able to be sociable, able to be social rather. So sociable is someone who is outgoing, someone who likes to talk to other people. Loyal, on the other hand, loyal refers to someone who always stays with their friends, or they always stay with their family. You can trust them. They're going to support you. They're going to be there to listen to you or to help you with whatever you need. That's someone who is loyal. So we use sociable and loyal to talk about people in our lives. Usually these people are also friendly. So let's look at some example sentences that use these. First, he's much more sociable than me. And I wish I were more sociable. So sociable again means outgoing, someone who likes to talk a lot. In this second example sentence, the speaker is perhaps not so sociable, a little bit shy. I wish I were more sociable. In the next pair, everyone needs loyal friends. Everyone needs loyal friends. So everyone needs friends who will support them at any time. And she's loyal to her company. She's loyal to her company. So in this case, we're talking about a person. Yes, she, in this case, this person, this woman, is loyal to her company, which means she always is going to be with her company. She's always going to choose her company in a tough situation or a difficult situation. She's always going to support her company. She's loyal to her company. Okay, let's move on to the next part of this wheel. The next part is attractive. So we can use nice to mean attractive. Like when someone says, you look nice, it can mean attractive. So there are different ways that we can use nice to talk about physical niceness. So this attractive thing, this attractive word means, it can mean like someone that you are romantically attracted to. It can also mean something that you find physically attractive in nature, or something that you find physically attractive that someone has made. There are many, many words we can use to mean attractive, so let's look at a couple of them here. First is beautiful. I think many people know the word beautiful. We can use beautiful to talk about people, to talk about objects, to talk about nature, something that is beautiful. We typically use beautiful when we're talking about people to describe women, but we can use it with men as well. The other word here is gorgeous, gorgeous. So imagine gorgeous is like a step above beautiful. We use it for things that feel really, really special, or maybe they feel a little bit expensive if we're talking about objects. If we want to talk about people, if we want to describe people who are gorgeous, we can use gorgeous for men or for women. So we can use it for anybody, anyone that we feel is really, really special and like extra attractive physically, we can describe them as gorgeous, gorgeous. So let's look at some example sentences. First, what a gorgeous sunset. What a gorgeous sunset. So that means there's something extra special about this sunset. It's like super beautiful. It's really, really special. It's a gorgeous sunset. Second, she's wearing a gorgeous dress. She's wearing a gorgeous dress. So again, there's that feeling of something kind of special and unique about what she's wearing. The other pair here, the bakery made a beautiful cake. The bakery made a beautiful cake. So that means the cake is physically very attractive. The cake is physically looking nice, and we can use beautiful to describe that. If the cake seems extra special, we might choose to use gorgeous. It's a gorgeous cake. But beautiful seems kind of the right level for a cake in most cases, I think. Second, it's a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day today. We use this expression when the weather is nice. So it's sunny, there's no clouds, it's a nice day. So we can say it's beautiful to express that as well. Of course, you could say gorgeous if you want to emphasize that the weather is extra special. It's a gorgeous day out. You can say it's a beautiful day to make it a little bit more like everyday, a little more typical. Okay, on to the next part. The next part is right here, cool, cool. So you may know the word cool. We use the word cool to mean something is good. This is a very casual word, and there are many, many different words we can use to mean cool or good. So I've chosen a couple here. So we also use nice to refer to something that is cool. A couple other words I want to talk about are excellent, excellent, and sick. Sick. So excellent, I think many of you know excellent because we use it to talk about something that is of high value, yeah? Like, or something that we did a really good job with, like excellent job on the test or excellent job with your paper. So we talk about something in terms of its value, kind of, when we use the word excellent. But we can also use excellent to mean very good or great or cool or nice. Sick, on the other hand, sick is used, it tends to be used more by young people and tends to be used more by younger men. So maybe like men in their 20s, in their teenage years. Sick is a very rough and cool sounding word that means good or really interesting or great. So let's look at some example sentences. First, let's take a look at excellent. You got a raise? Excellent. You got a raise. Excellent. So a raise means your payment from your company or your job increased. You got a raise? Excellent. Or I ate an excellent burger for lunch. I ate an excellent burger for lunch. So that means it's something that was cool or nice or really, really great. So something that is cool. So something that's cool or something that's really, really good, we can express that with excellent. Something that's excellent. So it's like a step above something else. It's really, really nice. It's kind of the feeling of excellent. Okay, now let's look at some examples with sick. Your snowboarding trip looked sick. Your snowboarding trip looked sick. So here I've used snowboarding on purpose. So this is kind of the type of person who might use the word sick. They have like snowboarding or skateboarding related hobbies. So these kinds of like maybe street related hobbies, street or like outdoor sports related hobbies. These kinds of people might use the word sick more than others, different kinds of sports. So not everybody, but just you might hear it a little more with people who enjoy these kinds of sports. So your snowboarding trip looked sick. So that means cool or nice or really, really great. Another one, we made some sick tracks last weekend. We made some sick tracks last weekend. Tracks mean songs. So this sentence would be said by someone who makes music. So someone who is making music as a hobby or as their job, they make some music in like the previous weekend, they might say, we made some sick tracks last weekend. So that means we made some cool or some nice songs last weekend. Okay, on to the next one. The next one is neat. Neat. So something that is neat is something that is organized. So it's very carefully organized. We can use this to talk about rooms or to talk about people, to talk about styles and designs and so on. So neat, within neat, I've chosen a couple more words. The first one is tidy. Tidy. Tidy means it's not cluttered. It means it's clean. So all of the toys in a kid's room are put away. They're in their space. Or someone's desk, as we'll see in just a minute. Someone who has a tidy desk, all of their objects are carefully organized. This is tidy. Someone who is tidy, or a space can be tidy as well. The other one is refined, refined. So it's someone who it's usually for people or for like spaces or for design. Something that is refined or someone who is refined is very organized. They have a very organized appearance about them. So there's nothing extra about someone who is refined, or there's nothing extra about a room that has a refined style or a refined design. Some examples then. Wow, your room is so tidy. Or, I can't keep my desk tidy. So tidy, this refers to clean. So everything is in everything is in the place that it's supposed to be in. Everything is in its place. With refined then, I love his style. It's so refined. Or, her designs are chic and refined. So this refers, again, to something that doesn't have anything extra about it. It's very neat. It's very nice. So this is perhaps something you can use when you're talking about style and design. Finally, the last group here, refers to words that mean entertaining, entertaining. So we can use this for music, for movies, we can use it for people, for experiences. Inside these, I've chosen awesome. Awesome, which is very similar to excellent. Awesome is used very casually. We use it when we want to express that something is very good, and we tend to use it a lot with like media-related things, media and also for sports. The other one is moving, moving. So we use moving to express a feeling of emotion. Something is moving when it causes us to feel emotions. And those emotions are usually like sadness, or we feel maybe like a sense of loss, or we feel really a connection to characters in the story. So a moving story often like causes us to cry a little bit. So some examples then. The film was so moving, I cried. Or, what a moving story. So moving refers to something that causes you to feel those strong emotions. On the other hand, awesome, your band's concert was awesome. So that means really great, really cool, really entertaining. And we went to an awesome museum exhibit yesterday. So in this case, the museum exhibit was entertaining, or we found something really exciting or entertaining at the museum. So awesome can have this meaning of entertaining. All right, so those are some vocabulary words that you can use to express nice a little bit more specifically. Of course, there are many, many other adjectives that you can use to express any of these ideas. If you have any questions or comments, or if you know some more adjectives, please feel free to leave those in the comment section. And also, please feel free to send some example sentences using these words in the comments as well. Of course, if you like this lesson, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about 3 ways to use have been and has been. Let's get started. Okay, first, I want to talk about using have been and has been to express travel experience. So if you have studied present perfect tense, you know that we use have been and has been to talk about something that happened in the past, but we don't use a specific point in time to talk about it. We don't say last year or last week or last summer. We just want to mention that we had that experience or we didn't have that experience. So when we talk about our travel experience, we use this kind of grammar with have been or has been. Which one we choose depends on the subject of our sentence. If the subject of our sentence is I, you, we, or they, we use have been after the subject. I have been, you have been, they have been, we have been. If the subject of your sentence is he, she, or it, we use has been. He has been, she has been, it has been. So depending on the subject, your conjugation will change, have or has. That's the difference with this use here. And actually, this is something that applies, that is the same for all of the points I'm going to talk about today. A key difference, however, is at the end of the expression. If you're using have been or has been to express your travel experience, follow this part of the sentence with to, the preposition to, which shows us movement, it marks movement. And then we use a place. This can be a city, a country, a region. Please note, however, we cannot use the word there. I have been to there is incorrect. He has been to there is incorrect. If you want to use there, just remove to from the sentence. I have been there. She has been there. So please keep this in mind. To plus a specific place is correct, or no to plus there. Let's look at some example sentences now. First, with the subject I have been to London. I have been to London. My subject is I, so I use have been. To is my preposition. I'm using London as the specific place, a city here. In another example, we have been to Egypt. We have been to Egypt. My subject is we, so again I choose have been. I use the preposition to and Egypt as my place, my specific place. Let's change the subject now. He is my subject. He has been to New York City. He has been to New York City. Subject is he, so I choose has been instead of have been. I follow this with to New York City, my preposition to and my specific place. In the next example, I want to talk about the way that native speakers reduce sounds in sentences like these. So when we use have been or has been, we typically make the sounds shorter. That's what reduce means, to make something smaller or to make something shorter. We reduce sounds in sentences like these by making has been into z been. So in this case, she has been, if I follow this pattern, reduces to she's been. She's been. In the full sentence, she's been to Barcelona. She's been to Barcelona. So we know that this is not she is because been is the word that follows it. She is would be followed by an adjective, like she is beautiful or she is busy. She's been, however, shows us that it's this present perfect pattern. That's how we know what this z sound means. Is it a has or is it an is? Look at the word that follows the sound. So she's been to Barcelona. Let's then look, or rather, let's next look at how to make negative expressions. So when we want to make a negative with this same grammar, we need to include a never, never. So that means at no point in the past have I had this experience. At no point in the past did I travel to that place. To do that, we place never between have been, or rather between have and been, and between has and been. So right here in the middle is where we'll place the never. Everything else about the sentence remains the same. Let's try. Here, I have never been to Africa. I've never been to Africa. Here, I've got I've. So subject is I, have, this reduces to I've, and then never comes between have and been. I've never been to Africa. In the next example sentence, I change the subject back to he, and I've reduced it. He has becomes he's, negative, never. He's never been to China. He's never been to China. So again, the never comes between has and been. Finally, one more example. She's never been to Canada. She's never been to Canada. So a big point here is to try to reduce these sounds in your speech. It's going to sound much more natural if you make these sounds smaller, if you make the sounds shorter. If you always say he has been to, she has been to, it sounds stiff and unnatural. So try to make sure that you reduce these sounds when you're talking. Also, again, please don't forget this preposition. Lots of learners say something like, I've never been Africa, he's never been China. Don't forget that too, before the place name. Okay, with this in mind, let's continue to point 2 for this lesson. Point 2, we use have been and has been to describe an action that started in the past and continues to the present, and we do this with an ing ending verb. So that means a verb in the progressive or a verb in the continuous form, a verb that has that ing ending. So when we make our expressions with this type of grammar, they follow the same pattern as the first part here. Depending on our subject, we need to choose have been or has been. Nothing has changed here. But the part to focus on is the ending of the expression. So here, after have been or has been, we use a verb in the ing form. And then, in most cases, you'll see a time expression. We'll use for or since plus a time expression. So why do we do this? Let's look at this timeline to understand what this grammar communicates. This grammar is expressing an action that started at some point in the past. On this timeline, this star marks the present now. This direction is the future, and this direction is the past. This point here marks the start of an action. Then the action continues to the present. So that means it's something that's happening now. It started in the past and it's still going on. So we mark this point in the past with either for or since. So let's take a look at some example sentences to understand the differences between using for and since. First, I have been teaching for about 5 minutes. I have been teaching for about 5 minutes. So here, again, subject I, so I choose have been. I use a verb in the ing form, teaching in this case. So I'm expressing my action now, and the grammar tells us that it's something that started in the past and continues. So this is an action, really, that I have been doing for maybe about 5 minutes. So let's look here. I've used for in this sentence. I follow it with about 5 minutes. So when you use for before your time expression, you need to use a time expression that expresses a length of time. 5 minutes, 1 hour, 20 days. So you need a length of time after for. In this case, I've also used about. So I don't know exactly how much time has passed since I started this lesson. But for about 5 minutes. Another example. You have been listening since this video started. You have been listening since this video started. In this sentence, you is the subject, so I choose have been for this part of the sentence. Listening is my ing verb, and then I've used since here. So please notice with since, we use a specific point in the past, not a length of time. Since this video started, So both of these express the same idea that something started in the past and continues to the present. In this case, with the first example sentence, I have been teaching for about 5 minutes. I'm marking the start point of the action with this 5 minutes ago is another way to say it. But I'm marking the length of time, really. That's what I'm focusing on here, this length of time. In the since sentence, you have been listening since this video started. I'm marking the starting point. That's the difference. Since this video started. So for marks this length of time. We use for with a length of time. Since marks the starting point. That's the difference here. They communicate the same idea. You can choose whichever you prefer. It's completely up to you. So let's look at another example. He has been sleeping for 13 hours. He has been sleeping for 13 hours. Subject is he, so I choose has been. My ing verb is sleeping, and I've used for 13 hours. I'm describing the length of time for 13 hours. Also, when you use a length of time like hours or minutes or days, please make sure to use the plural form. 13 hours, 5 days, and so on. Another example, she. She has been working since early this morning. She has been working since early this morning. Since marks my starting point since early this morning. So that's where it began, and it continues. Let's look now at a few examples of negative sentences. How do we make a negative sentence with this grammar? Example 1, I have not been eating meat recently. I have not been eating meat recently. You'll notice I'm ending the sentence not with for or since here. Instead, you'll commonly see negatives in this grammar finishing with an expression like lately or recently or maybe these days, something like that. We use this less commonly than we use the positive form. We use this to talk about something that's maybe regular or an expected action that for some reason we are not doing now. So you can imagine it's something that we are not doing that started in the past and that continues to the present. So in this example, I have not been eating meat recently. That means at some point in the past, so recently means just some point in the last few days or the last few weeks or the last few months. It's a very vague, not clear term. So that means from some point here until now and continuing, I did not eat meat. I have not been eating meat. So we might expect for some people that it's maybe normal or it's very common to eat meat, and we want to express this change. So we describe that change with this negative pattern. Let's look at another example. He hasn't been feeling well. He hasn't been feeling well. Here I've used the reduced form. He has not been feeling well. So you might have noticed that when I'm using this grammar, to make my sentence negative, I'm using not between have and been or has and been. This is different from point 1 in this lesson, where we used never between the two words. To make this grammar negative, use not. When we reduce it, it becomes haven't with have not or hasn't with has not. So this sentence, he hasn't been feeling well. He hasn't been feeling well. This is something you might hear in response to a question like, oh, how's your brother? Or how's your dad? Asking about someone's health. You can respond with, he hasn't been feeling well. So that means from some point in the past, actually we don't know, but from some point in the past, this person started not feeling well, and that has continued to the present. So this sounds rather serious, actually. He hasn't been feeling well. So maybe someone who has not been attending work, or someone who has not been coming to school. So we could express the reason for that with something like this. So we use the negative to do that. So that means this situation, or rather this feeling, has continued from the past and into the present. Finally, one more example. We haven't been exercising lately. We haven't been exercising lately. So again, this kind of sentence refers to an action that was common or that was expected for the speaker. So maybe the speaker has a long history of exercise or good exercise habits. And the speaker and someone else, they want to express that there has been a change. So they might say, we haven't been exercising lately. So they would use the negative form to do that. So this grammar is used to talk about an action that started in the past and continues to the present, or some action that was typical or expected in the past that is no longer happening for some reason. Okay, so let's compare this then to point 3, which is very similar, but we have some grammatical changes to consider. Number 3, we use have been and has been to describe a status that started in the past and continues to the present. We do this with an adjective, So very similar to point 2, something that started in the past and continues to now. We have the same idea, but instead of an action, like teaching or listening, it's a status, it's a condition. We use some adjectives to do that, and I'll share with you like some very, very common ones. We can't use all adjectives to do this. So, again, we follow the same structure for the beginning of the sentence. Depending on your subject, we choose have been or has been. After this part, we use an adjective. Following this, it's very common to see a word like lately, recently, or the last few days, the last few weeks, the last few months. So we're using these expressions to show that the specific time is not important. We just want to talk about recent events or the last period of time, the last kind of recent period of time. So let's look at some common adjectives that we use in this pattern. First, I have been busy lately. Busy is a very common adjective to use in this expression. So again, this expresses that the person, the speaker here, in recent days, in the last, recent period, has been busy. So at some point in time, they started to be busy, and that has continued until the current conversation. Again, we do reduce this sound to I've been busy lately. I've been busy lately. Another one. I've been sick the last few days. I've been sick the last few days. Here, I have the last few days. Now you'll notice I'm not using for in this expression. It's kind of common to drop that here. I've been sick for the last few days is totally correct. But in this case, as I've done here, it's also common to drop it sometimes. So I've been sick the last few days. That means in this time period, I have been sick. So a few days ago it started and it continues to today. Let's change the subject. He has been grumpy recently. He has been grumpy recently. Grumpy is an adjective that means someone who is in a bad mood. Like they seem really negative. They're not mean or evil or bad people, just they're in a bad mood. Grumpy. They're a little bit difficult to deal with. He has been grumpy recently. So that means from this point in time in the past, from this recent point in the past, until now, and continuing, he has been grumpy. Another one, she's been really happy the last few weeks. She's been really happy the last few weeks. So I've reduced she has to she's. She's been really, So I'm emphasizing my adjective here, happy. You can change the adjective like level with words like really or very. She's been very happy, or she's been really happy the last few weeks. So here, again, I could use for if I wanted to. This makes it a little more casual. So she's been really happy the last few weeks. Let's take a look last at some negatives then. First one, I have not been very busy lately. I have not been very busy lately. So again, we would use an expression like this if it's regular for us. Like in the past, it was regular for us to be busy, but recently or lately, I have not been very busy. So we kind of use this to show that there's some change, as we talked about with point number 2. Another one, he hasn't been very friendly lately. He hasn't been very friendly lately. So again, this kind of expresses a change. Someone who is usually very friendly or who has been very friendly in the past is not very friendly right now and has not been very friendly lately. So we use a negative to do that. Again, as with point number 2 in this lesson, we use not to make the expression negative. I have not been, he has not been. To reduce, we use I haven't been and he hasn't or she hasn't been. Last example, she hasn't been very talkative the last few days. She hasn't been very talkative the last few days. Talkative refers to someone who likes to talk a lot, who likes to share a lot. So again, this would be used to describe a person who is usually talkative, but for the last few days is not talkative. So we tend to use these to describe some kind of change from a regular or an expected behavior. So this is an introduction to when to use have been and has been for a few different situations. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some sentences with this grammar, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, if you like this lesson, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is, do you record yourself speaking your target language? Chances are you don't like hearing the sound of your own voice, and that's true for almost all of us. But did you know that recording yourself speaking the target language and then listening back to yourself can help you master a language faster? In this guide, you'll discover why you should record yourself speaking the language, how this boosts speaking, listening, and recall, plus how you can apply this tactic with our system. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Shopping at a Mall Conversation PDF Cheat Sheet. You'll learn all the must-know words and phrases for shopping and getting around the mall with this new cheat sheet. And second, the Mother's Day and Father's Day Writing Worksheet. This bonus printable PDF worksheet teaches you the must-know vocabulary for Mother's Day and Father's Day. And you can even practice writing the words out. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. Do you record yourself speaking your target language? Part 1. Why you should record yourself speaking the language. So chances are you don't record and listen to yourself speaking the language, but there are some powerful benefits to doing so. And by benefits, I mean you'll learn faster, you'll be able to speak better, and you remember the language better. So what are the benefits of recording yourself? First and foremost is the obvious one, getting feedback. When you're learning a language on your own, you may not know if your pronunciation and speaking are on the right track. Or your speaking could be just fine, but you may be using words that aren't quite natural. The point is, it's hard to know what you're getting wrong. A native speaker can always help with that, but you probably don't have 24/7 access to one, right? But that doesn't mean you should wait until the next opportunity. So that's where recording yourself comes in. You have something that you can show a native speaker when the time comes, so you can see where you're off. And by the way, we'll show you how to get feedback in part 2. The second benefit? It's good to be aware of your speaking style. You may not be able to tell if your pronunciation is good or not, but you can easily tell if your speaking is slow, choppy, or unnatural. And that's something you can fix on your own, even without the help of a native speaker. Kind of like realizing you say a lot of ums and uhs in English. Third, if you record yourself and listen back, you're practicing both input and output, listening and speaking. So if you don't have access to a native speaker but want to practice speaking, you can get started right away. And even if you do have a teacher, you'll only be with them for 30 minutes or an hour per session, and your speaking practice time would still be limited. So this allows you to maximize your speaking practice time on your own time. And by speaking out loud, you get to remember the words and phrases better. And of course, if you listen to yourself, you're also practicing listening. Now, this is where many people would draw the line, because it's hard to listen to yourself, right? But that's where the fourth benefit comes in. Fourth, you improve your memory. According to studies, you tend to better recall things you've said over what others have said. If it's you saying it and not someone else, so it's personally relevant, it sticks better. And so it's kind of a double whammy. Saying things out loud helps you remember, and listening to yourself also helps you remember. So if you want to practice speaking, listening, and improve your recall, you should try speaking out loud to yourself, recording yourself, listening to that recording, and of course, getting feedback if you can. This allows you to practice speaking even when you don't have access to a teacher or a native speaker. And even if you do have access to a teacher, you'll only be with them for 30 minutes or an hour per session, so you're still limited. So recording yourself allows you to maximize your speaking practice time on your own time. At the most basic level, all you have to do is pull out your smartphone, open the voice recording app, and record yourself saying some lines in your target language. But doing it once won't be enough. You need to make it part of your routine. Part 2, how to apply this tactic. So since you're learning with our system and already have that routine going, here's what you can do. 1. Use the pronunciation practice tool inside of our lessons. You'll find the study tool inside the dialogue section of every lesson. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line. The goal is to hear the native speakers say a line, repeat what they say, and then compare yourself against them, and do that for the entire lesson dialogue. You'll be able to practice speaking, listening, and sharpen your pronunciation as well. If you're already taking our lessons, this will be an easy tactic to add to your routine, because the pronunciation practice tool is in every lesson. So be sure to do this with every lesson. 2. Take the hand-graded assessments. These Premium Plus assessments test you on writing and speaking. They're graded by real teachers, and you'll find them peppered throughout your recommended learning pathway. The way they work is you'll be asked to record a quick dialogue or speech as a way to test your speaking skills, and then our teachers will grade it and give it back to you. So this is a great way to practice speaking and get corrected at your own pace without having to find a teacher. You can also retake the assessments for more practice or to try and get a better grade. 3. Send recordings of yourself speaking to your Premium Plus teacher for feedback. And you can do this with the Premium Plus Messenger on the site or on the app. Your approach here is up to you, but the learners that get the best results are the ones that create routines for themselves. For example, we have learners who recite the lesson conversation out loud for every lesson they do and pass that on to their teacher. Then there are learners who send 3 recordings a day. 1 in the morning, 1 during the day, and 1 during the evening, just talking about their day. Then some just recordings of their example sentences from the grammar rules they learn. If you're not a Premium Plus member, you can use your smartphone to record yourself and ask a native speaker for feedback. But also, whichever tactic you apply, be sure to listen to your own recordings as well. This will help you remember the words, phrases, and grammar rules. And even if you can't judge your pronunciation, you can always tell if your speaking is choppy or a little slow. And this will help you improve your speaking overall. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about the power of specificity and knowing what you want. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! Want to learn your target language fast and understand native conversations, even if you're a beginner? In this Learning Strategies video, you'll learn all about the line-by-line dialogue, a powerful study tool that 1. Makes understanding conversations a breeze for beginners, and 2. Improves your speaking, listening, reading, and even writing skills. But first, if you don't yet have access to this tool and our lessons, just click the link down in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now. 1. What is the line-by-line dialogue exactly? The line-by-line dialogue is a study tool that makes absorbing conversations easier, and you'll find it in all of our audio lessons inside of our learning program. It breaks down the conversations you learn in our lessons into individual lines so that you don't get overwhelmed. For each line, you get the text in the target language, the translations, and audio pronunciation, so you can listen to each line, read along, and understand every single word. And you can also use the line-by-line dialogue to perfect your speaking, reading, listening, and writing skills. How? Take a look. 2. How to improve your speaking skills. The easiest way to start speaking on your own is to shadow what you hear, meaning repeat what you hear as you play each line. Just press the audio icon next to each line to hear it and shadow along. Next, if you want to perfect your pronunciation, click on the microphone icon to start recording. Then record and compare your pronunciation with the native speakers. These tactics get you speaking in minutes, and if you apply these to every lesson, you'll be speaking a lot more of your target language. Next, here's how you master listening. Since the line-by-line dialogue is a line-by-line breakdown of the conversation, you can listen to each line separately, as much as you want. Click on the audio icon to listen again and again and review the script. Read along so that you can pick apart every word. That way, you can understand those fast, native-level conversations and never miss a word. 4. Here's how you can practice reading. As you listen to the conversation, read along line by line. And if you don't know a word, click on the translations. They're right there in the line-by-line dialogue. You can even read with the Romanized script to help you sound out the words. And finally, here's how you can practice writing. Now, this advice is not something you'll hear very often because it's so simple. It's so simple that most people don't even think of doing it. Here it is. Just grab a pen and copy the lesson dialogue down into a notebook. The big benefit here is there's no writer's block. You don't have to worry about what to write. It's all there for you. So, if you want to learn your target language faster, understand native-level conversations, and improve your speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills, then get free access to the line-by-line dialogue. Sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to sign up. Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.